So we are back for another night of all right. Back to Friday Night Fish Talk pregame.
Pregame show. And who's joining us for the pregame?
We got the old Captain Zachry over here with us. Zachry.
Welcome to the pregame show at Friday Night Fish Talk. We got a fun episode ahead of us tonight, but we will not be giving out any secrets until after the pregame show.
Yeah, pretty much.
Billy, do you want to do a real quick recap on our fight against our for our rights and our water rights? And
been
what you sent me today was pretty sweet.
Right?
Yeah.
Pretty bad scenario of what's happening. A lot of straight runoff off of the Highway 19 project of widening into a 6-lane. Come to find out, one of our very own did some research and found out that the runoff is untreated, dumping directly into the Halls River of Homosassa. So there's a recap of what we have been encountered with, and old Captain Gary over here is taking that a step 10 beyond.
So, as Billy said, it is a direct runoff of US 19, and not only a direct runoff, but it's an intentional, illegal design to directly run it into the Halls River. Not in one site, but confirmed 2 sites.
No, that's pretty bad. You can't even say it was an accidental thing or we did our plans wrong. It was straight.
They said,
well, it can't be an accident when they got a pipe going right from a pond to the river.
And like, you know.
Yeah.
And when you have like DOT's, resources and money and, contractors, and it's the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff doesn't accidentally happen, and we've proven that it's happened.
Yep.
We've proven that they lied.
And it's still happening.
And it's still happening. Now, here's the real disturbing part. So, the Southwest Florida Water Management District, SwiftMud, they've issued DOT a notice of violation, which that's the great part.
That's a good thing to hear.
Hats off to SwiftMud. That's awesome. You guys, that's what you are here for, is to protect our natural resources. Now, here's the disturbing part. DOT still, to date, said that they are going to run the flow into the Halls River, but they're going to filter it first.
We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is, how does one state agency that regulates this type of stuff, how do they, tell another state agency, no, you cannot do it, but the other state agency is telling the public, we're going to do it?
Yeah, I mean, straight up just telling you this is what we're doing.
It's crazy. But, we've been fighting this for 1 week. We've gotten a lot accomplished thanks to you all. You guys, everyone that's watching this right now, I think it's like up to 1,500 people that's part of the Stand Up for Outstanding.
Yep.
Everyone is just tearing apart DOT and reaching out to county commissioners, the senator for our district, Wilton Simpson, reaching out to Ralph Masulo, the governor, and you guys have made this happen.
Well, I can't believe how far it's gone in just a week.
Right?
Just bringing a little bit of awareness to it, how much
it's awesome.
The community has come together to fight it, and which needs to happen.
No.
It's great.
This is what needs to happen next. So, and I'm being counseled as I go. This is like the real first fight against the state. I fought the county many times. Now we're friends, hashed out our differences, but this is what my resources are telling me. We need to get our Senator, Wilton Simpson, our Representative, Ralph Masulo, and our Governor to speak up. Mm-hmm. Not one of them has said anything about this yet. Not one. Ralph Masulo and Wilton Simpson, they just organized and helped get these grants and funding for the Homosassa River cleanup. Yeah. It's like $3.9 million they just funneled into the Homosassa cleanup. This project is doing the opposite of what they just wasted our tax dollars, $3.9 million. That's tax dollars. Mm-hmm. Those are grants, and where the money comes from somewhere. It's coming out of Zach's pocket and Billy's pocket, Louie's, and I mean, Vinny, everyone here, it's coming out of our pockets. So are they just spending our money for nonsense? So this is what we need you all to do and help us with and help the river. We're going to post, do you guys, Sean, do you have that contact list? Throw that up there real quick. So if you can, take a screenshot of this letter. This letter is giving you all the resources and people that need to be called, emailed, letters written to, and tell them you want answers, and you want answers now about the Highway 19 Pond 4 discharge directly into the Halls River. And that direct word comes from SwiftMud.
Yep, I mean, that's their words using it against them.
It's pretty cool that you're giving them all this information, too, that they can, you know.
Well, that's it. I mean, you fuel that fire, and
yeah,
that's the only way you're going to actually set this thing up.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, a lot of people don't know who to contact, and I'll be honest, you know, I only knew to contact a couple of those numbers there. You know, thank God my mom has done these battles and fights, so, you know, she has been right next to my side this whole time, so she threw that list together, and she's adding a few more names that she's going to post onto the Stand Up for the Outstanding Facebook page, which if you all are not a part of, please join the group Stand Up for the Outstanding, Save the Halls River. So that's going to be posted on there as well here shortly. Mm-hmm. But, you know, please send letters, emails, make the phone calls, and sound angry, because
You should be.
You should be.
Yep, by all means should be. I mean, being one of the Florida Outstanding Waterways, all it is doing is feeding right into the rest of what we have here, you know, being the St. Martin's Preserve and all. It's just going to be a snowball effect.
It is.
If it doesn't get fixed now, what else is going to get trashed above this, you know?
We pride ourselves on have never had red tide here.
Yep.
We pride ourselves on saying that we're not going to have red tide here. This is what will
slowly
fuel red tide, is this stormwater runoff of 19.
Even when this is all over, you ought to keep that Facebook page going, so people can go on there and like post, you know, if they see stuff that's going on in the area.
Honestly, it's not a terrible time.
No,
You know,
absolutely.
I mean,
100%.
Might as well make a group, and it'd be pretty cool.
That's a great idea. I mean, I'm sure there's many more ponds. You know, we know this one for sure, so we're gonna keep fighting this one. You know, Zach, you told me some stuff about Crystal River. I think that's something that we hit. You know, and it doesn't mean we have to do one at a time either, because, you know, just like DOT is causing a snowball effect,
yep.
I say let's cause a snowball effect on them.
No reason not to.
But that being said, let's get to Friday Night Fish Talk. So please help support and save our ecosystem and our waterways. So stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, welcome to Friday Night Fish Talk. We are back.
Beautiful week at it.
Awesome week, except for the past 3 days of nothing but rain.
That was
a little wet
horrible.
out there.
It was wet, but you know what? We need that.
We do.
The water temperatures dropped 9 degrees, I saw. Came up 2 degrees today. So it doesn't hurt to cool down the water a little bit.
Not at all. Get them fish biting even more.
Absolutely. So, all right, guys. So we have a really awesome episode.
Should be a fun one.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Each week we come up with a category and we kind of hit home at that, and then we, you know, do the reports and everything else. Tonight is going to be all about you. So you decide what this episode's going to be about. We've got Captain Louie over there from Florida Fishing Adventures, who is going to be answering any tackle questions you may have. He's got a whole arsenal of tackle, and he's got his knot tying board and some strings.
Let us know what you want to know, whether it might be how to tie a knot, what bait to use, and or where to fish them.
Where to go, what time to leave this time of the year, that time of the year, what boat to use, what anchor to use. Whatever you have a question about, you've got some of the best captains and Captain Zach in the room tonight. But no, seriously. So we've got the Florida Marine Tracks chart system on this beautiful Simrad NSS Evo 3 12-inch.
Yep.
So
pretty sure that's the way it goes.
if you have a question about where to fish, we are going straight to this chart and giving you the satellite imagery. And we're going to
show you right where Zach is every day.
I'm getting one of those for my mud boat this year.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, the mud boat?
Yeah.
That's what you need.
All right. So Kevin McDowell says, okay, let's rip some lips. What's hot and what's not? Zach? I'm assuming, Kevin, are you talking about like what is the hot bite? Or
I'm sure he's talking about what's biting and what's not.
Zach, take it.
Redfish going absolutely crazy right now with the cool water. They've been really fired up good. The trout, it's still not a crazy bite by any means. You can go and find pockets of them here and there, but we're gonna have to wait basically, I would say, another maybe month and a half, 2 months before you're really going to see those real big numbers of trout come inside the Keys.
I was gonna say, it's pretty tough to target them right now. Catch them for a bycatch, I can see, being out there on the airboat all day today. I saw quite a few trout, actually more than I expected to, but I don't think I would go and set a
targeting those would be hard to do. Yeah.
I wouldn't be making that a destination. Just going for trout
even running out, when we're running our scallop trips, running out through the Keys, those patches where there's a lot of grass, and then it goes to that gold bottom.
Yep.
I'm seeing 2 or 3 in each of those, but long story short, it's going to be hard to target those fish. So your redfish are biting good, snook are biting good, trout kind of slow.
I've even seen snook blown up at the surface a couple times a day.
Any grouper reports? Yeah. That wouldn't be my question. That'd be for Louie.
Let's go over to the grouper guru on that one.
Grouper guru.
Louie, Robin McDowell wants to know any grouper reports.
As far as inshore, this time of year can be tough. I know Gary went out a few days this week. Those fish, they're pushing out as far as they can this time of year. You can still catch a lot, but if you're gonna go out there to target grouper, don't go up north around the barge canal and all that. Those fish are hot. That water's dirty. You want to go south. Out here in front of Ozello, as far as you can go out, that's going to be your best fishing. That's really the only fishing this time of year. Super, super lively baits. I would try to stay away from trolling. The grass is so bad that I can barely run my boat from Ozello to the scallop ground. So trolling is pretty much out this time of year. Like I said, super lively baits, and try to stay in some clearer water. That water up there to the north is 4 or 5 degrees hotter than the stuff that is down south that's a little bit clearer. So
now, Louie, one of my friends from Pure Fishing, he fishes Bayport, Chassahowitzka, anywhere from 15 to 20 foot of water is what he was telling me the other day. He said that this year especially, it is insane right now. Is that, with your experience, do you think that could be caused because of the red tide down south pushing fish, a little bit cooler waters in this time of the year? I've always known during the summer, don't waste your time grouper fishing unless you're going way offshore.
Yeah, this year's been a lot different. This year's been 10 times what last year was. In June last year, we were having to fish all day to catch our limit, and this year we were fishing until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So, and that fishing kind of continued through all of June. Obviously, we started scalloping in July, but you went out a few times. You don't know much about it.
No.
But
just what I learned from you on that.
Yeah, I've taught you a little bit, and you caught a lot of fish. So, that it doesn't. It's obviously grouper fishing is not hard. We make it into something that it's not
I
supposed
can
to be.
tell you the hardest part, and you're right, I've been out a couple times during
Yeah.
scallop season, right? Pretty much any time I have a half a day, I've been able to get out there. Every single time, it's rough, and I've got to watch my back for storms.
Well, that's the problem this time of year. You run out there. So the last day of the season, I got caught in a storm. I was in 25 feet of water. It went from being slick calm to blowing 50. Literal 50 in 20 feet of water turns slick calm into 5-footers in about 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't take long.
It's just really not something that you want to try to mess with. Yeah, some people are still catching them. I mean, I saw AJ Boston caught them today and all that. But it's just a tough time of year. Your best rig for a grouper right now, you want to go as far out as you can, and you want to put what we call a knocker rig out, or really an extended knocker rig, a Carolina rig as is. Taking a big weight with a swivel. Your weight's going to be on your main line. I don't know if we have one right here. Your weight's on your main line, and then a swivel, and then 5-6 feet of 80-pound fluorocarbon to your hook, to your pinfish or sea bass, or grunt or something that's super lively. But
So when you talk about weight, let's say, for instance, 30 feet of water. What size egg weight are you using?
so in 30 foot, well, it's all dependent on the current. So I always try to start as light as I can. If I can use a 3 ounce is very ideal to have that bait where it's still moving a little bit down there. Maybe it's bouncing around, but it's still closer to the bottom. There's a lot of times where you have to have 5 and 6 ounces, and your bait presentation is not right. But obviously, if you have to get it down there, you have to get it down there. Those fish, if that current's rolling so hard, those fish are going to stick so close to that structure that if you're not right on top of it, dropping straight down into them, then you're not going to catch them. That's the biggest problem with all that current, though, is when you drop right down into them, right into the structure, they're going to rock you up almost all the time. Gary told me this morning he had crazy current, and he got rocked up most of the time. I mean, the boat's going up and down. It's tough. Unless you're using something that's got like 50 pounds of drag, which we do use. But as far as it's a tough time of year, I would say if you're going to go out there and do it, try to use as long of a leader as you can to try to get as many bites as you can. Once you get a bite, don't take a picture of the fish. Throw the little one back and keep dropping down. People have the problem of being slow. I tell my people all the time, hurry up. We're trying to get these fish. If you are, especially this time of year, you probably have 10 minutes on a rock to catch your fish once the first one bites. After that, it's done. The water's hot. They're fired up for a second, then they're done. They're chilled out. Get it all done very quickly. Try to not sit there for too long. You want to bounce back and forth as much as you can.
Perfect. All right, let's go over the next question. Thank you, Captain Louie. What's the next question there, Sean? All righty. Brian Sims, where should the average Joe go fishing off the bank if they don't have the boat? And that is a great question, and we're actually going to be covering that entire subject closer to fall and winter time. Because bank fishing, especially in Ozello, is a lot better in the wintertime. But,
if you were going to be doing it, say, tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to go tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell you where I would go, and that would be to the, what's the bridge?
The main causeway?
The main causeway in Ozello.
Yep, just before Pirates Cove.
The biggest thing you got to keep in consideration, Brian, is the further out you go during the summer, the better, right?
Yeah.
You have cleaner water,
Get
clearer
as far
water.
west as possible.
Yeah, less mud.
Dude, I've been driving down Ozello, and I've been seeing pushes in those ditches
Really?
We've had
that
some
are
very high waters.
huge. Like, I guarantee I almost wanted to stop and cast a line in there.
Well, that's just like I've been saying the past few weeks, for the sport fishermen, Mud Creek, Game Creek, stuff like that, I am finding big pushes.
I know,
So
dude. I'm
they're
talking.
not full.
Yeah, let's go to the Florida Marine
I'm talking
Track
these
screen real
ditches
quick.
right on the side of the street,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
that does connect right to Game.
Yeah.
So that it's exactly, you, Billy and Zach are on the same page right now. So, Game Creek is back here. We do see a lot of big random pushes.
Yeah, they're not big schools by any means.
and they're not real consistent. But when
We'll
you
have
see
to
these
work for 'em.
pushes, you say, "What the heck was that? Was that a manatee or what?" But it's right in that same area. So this is the Ozello Trail. What Zach's talking about.
Most
is-
of it has been on the when you're heading out Ozello Trail there. It's on the right hand side, kind of when you get down a little further, down the trail a
So-
little further.
Here's
Okay, so
here's
you're
something
that
else
way.
I would look at. If I'm going bank fishing, especially on Ozello Trail, is get yourself a Florida Marine Tracks mobile setup. They did just start selling them.
What?
Yeah, they really did start selling mobile
That's
units.
pretty cool.
You can
GPS
plug
in
into
a
a
box.
cigarette lighter. Yeah,
So you
that's what you should get.
That's pretty
for your
sweet.
mud boat, and then you can move it over. But
so you can take it on like a Freedom Boat Club boat. Or
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, pontoon rental, or anywhere in the state of Florida. But anyway, if you don't, have that, then just use Google Earth or maps. But look for areas like this, where
I want those feeders.
you want these feeders. This is going to lead right to Game Creek eventually, where Billy's talking about. Because we see those pushes back here on these
Guys, I'm not
canals.
joking, man. When I saw those, it's not redfish. I mean, it is like
Grouper.
I would say it honestly looked like a big shark, like a 3-foot shark swimming through there. But it's got to be. I know it's not, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying the push was so big, it had to have been a redfish.
Yep. I
So-
do find that, like I said in previous episodes, they're far and few between, but the ones you see are definitely worth chasing.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to that subject, I like walking through woods. I like marching through woods. I like to explore.
Had some good times with that.
Absolutely. That's the adventure, right?
Well, there's a lot of places you can walk to fish
yeah.
off
Well,
this
that's
road.
what I'm getting at. If we
Absolutely.
go to the screen real quick, Sean, check these little ponds out that you will not see from Ozello Trail. Some might be springs. There's all kinds of awesome stuff. Whether or not they hold fish, you would hit these after a big giant high tide,
Yep.
when the fish can get through the main.
Which
or
we
the-
have
the
been
marsh.
experiencing
Yes.
these past couple of days out there running on the airboat. There's a foot of water on the airboat slide, which is
Yep.
typically dry.
Well, if you go down
there's
past the
some
marina,
good water
you're going to
pushing
find
through.
there's all kinds of trails. Walking out to all kinds of stuff, man. Washington Pool,
Oh, yeah.
and all sorts of stuff.
Nemesis Corner and all.
Yes, right there.
Yep.
This right here, yeah. This is a hot spot in the wintertime.
Yeah.
It really is. It's fun. You meet a lot of people out there. Be respectful of everyone. Don't, this is the early bird gets the worm.
Oh yeah.
In the wintertime, we have the people that are waiting here at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. They got there first. They woke up the earliest.
That one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's Nemesis Corner. Yep, sorry. You get to
That's
see
good.
the depth change on this Florida Marine Track system. But the other thing, too, if you're going to be fishing off of Ozello Trail or any road, be respectful of the vehicles. Cast nets and everything
Yeah, be
else.
careful. Don't
Yeah,
run
don't leave your
people's-
bait bucket in the
Yeah.
in the road. They tend to explode at points. And
Yeah. Now, the only thing that I'm curious about is, and we're going to practice it this winter. I say we should go shoot a video doing this, but what baits would you guys use back here? The same baits you use?
For artificial or for live bait?
Either or. If you
if
had
I were gonna fish back there, I'd probably be on the mud minnow side.
mud minnow,
Yeah, and if it's really covered in there, right? You're not going to have a lot of wind effect to that.
Yeah.
And what would be pretty sweet, man, is to use a top water in there.
that would be fun.
Yeah, right early in the
dog
morning,
junior,
man,
get
that
that
would
sucker
be
walking.
really, really cool.
All right, let's get to the next
right.
question. So I hope we answer your question, Brian. There's a bunch of places. What's that mullet pond off Fort Allen Trail?
Yeah, the mullet hole.
The mullet hole. The mullet hole seems pretty cool. All right, Gary. Let's see, who is this? Joshua. Gary, when are you getting me a snook you owe me? Josh, let's do it, man. I could use a snook. When
Snook's
does
coming in September.
September? Yep. So, fall.
Yep.
I'm
Which
down
is pretty
for
nice
it.
to see because there's still a lot of numbers of snook out there too.
All right, Rick Largell. What does all this water do to the inshore fish in St. Martin's River, etc.? Rainwater.
far as the rainwater goes, I mean, if it's clean rainwater coming out of the woods, cooling it down is not going to be a bad thing by any means.
It should get them fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By all means, but you know, as far as the whole scenario that we're running into at the whole Halls River thing, not good.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it. You know, redfish, snook, trout, they're primarily saltwater fish. Yes, you will find them in brackish and, you know, redfish and snook you'll find in the Homosassa Springs, but that's when it's really cold.
Yeah.
So the more fresh water that we get and the more rain, I think we had 16 inches in 2 days or 3 days.
That's insane.
The more rainwater you get, these fish are going to be pushing further offshore.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be pushing further out. It's not, the salinity is not going to be high enough for them. So to answer your question, Rick, more rain, I'd work further out. We saw alligator gar scalloping today.
Really?
Yeah, no, they actually will thrive in salt water.
Really?
Yeah, and it's going to be the Florida longnose gar that you see.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just never seen them out there scalloping before, and just lingering underneath of us, swimming around.
That's crazy.
So,
pretty cool.
all right, let's go to a quick commercial break, and then guys, keep asking those questions.
Vagabond dreaming takes me through the night, sipping whiskey by the river, living out of sight. 100 miles an hour in the fast lane, 100 miles an hour toward the light. When the sun does come, 100 miles an hour in the fast lane, 100 miles an hour in the fast lane, 100 miles an hour till I'm done.
If anyone can do it, Darnell can do it.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Alrighty, welcome back. That was our friends over at Baheo.
Gotta love the vision. Get to see through those glasses.
Dude,
Game changers.
every day.
I had 2 people on my boat today switch over from the letter C
Yeah.
to Bahios this morning. All right, what
Are we
is
not supposed
next,
to say
Sean?
their name? Okay, all right.
Supposed to.
Sure, before I
You
go
know.
saying stuff. So.
All right,
Competitors.
what kind of questions we got here? Alrighty, Rick Largell, Zach's favorite hook position on a live shrimp under a popping cork.
That's a good one. There's actually, let's send it over to Louie.
No, you can come over and do it.
Run over there with Louie and show him.
Good, Zach smells anyway.
Here, I'll hold it up for you.
Well, they're asking about hook position. They know
Yeah,
what the
don't
cork
you guys
looks
have
like.
the GoPro.
All right,
GoPro.
let's send it over to the GoPro here. There we go. There we are. Okay, so if you're wanting to just use a hook like this is going to be a 3/0. Looks like an octopus circle hook to me, probably by Eagle Claw or Owner.
Try to show the whole shrimp.
And so here is going to be your live shrimp. I like to hook them through the tail, just like that. And so when you go to cast this, the heaviest part of that shrimp is forward. And so when you cast it, it's not going to get all tangled up in your cork and everything like that. And then also he'll just kind of sit there in the water column, something like this. When he's, if he's live, he's going to have these little legs kicking around. Now, if you guys are using a jig head on your popping cork, I do something completely different, and it's actually going to look just like this. So you delete this tail right here, so you're going to pinch this off, and then you thread the jig head through the shrimp, and you want the hook coming out on the belly. So you see the little legs sticking up here. So you want the shrimp coming through, or the hook coming through the belly of the shrimp. And it's just a lot easier, because if you guys try bending a shrimp this way, it doesn't really work, right? Because he's got his little shell on him. But he bends easily like this, so it threads through there easy. And then also another reason why I delete this tail is, believe it or not, it's aerodynamic where you can cast it further. If you've got this fin flopping in the air, you're going to notice your jig head and your shrimp is just going to be spinning the entire way out there. So if you delete that, you can cast it out there and it's not going to spin, or it's typically not going to foul up on you. And so that's basically how I'm going to hook a shrimp under a cork.
Nice.
Simple enough.
Perfect. Good job. Good job. Hey, Sean, I'm looking at this right here, and I see probably my favorite question. If you don't mind, I'm going to read it off real quick. You good with that?
Okay.
All right. Scott Parrish wants to know, is it true that if you drink Busch Light while fishing, you catch more fish?
I do agree on that. You know, when it comes to...
I'm a Jim Beam fan myself, all right? So, like, no, I know, you know.
I always tell them, whenever I have a charter and someone says, hey, Cap, do you mind if I bring some beer? Absolutely. It's going to make the fishing better.
That's it. As long as it's Busch Light.
That's hilarious. That's a great question.
That is a good question. Good job. All right, what's next? Oh, there's this question there.
Best place to kayak fish right now.
Probably the end of Ozello.
I'm still gonna, yeah,
I would say so,
I would agree right there with Captain Louie. I'd probably say at the very end of Ozello Trail, you get out there, launch out of Pirates Cove, hang a left, and start going westward. Get out towards the mouths of the rivers out there, those outer islands that are gonna be here.
Well, I mean, all that stuff around Bear Island, all that stuff still has fish in it. I mean, regular bird key.
Ozello? Here we are. All right, so as you do launch out of here for being Pirates Cove, highly recommend hanging that west and following it out. What you're looking for is to get out here towards the mouths of these little channels and cuts and play on the outer banks of them. There is quite a bit of good fishing once you start to round into around Bear Island and Char Island. A lot of people will fish these deeper channels, but anything in those outer islands is going to be your best produced areas. Look for some good structure and some flowing water. But that'll be your shortest, most productive paddle this time of the year.
So
Also, go on there and show them Fort Island Trail. We mentioned that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, going out
Remember?
of Fort Island?
Yeah. I mean, you know,
Right off the beach there?
yeah. So I mean, if
Absolutely.
they're looking for somewhere that's not like, you know, right, if they're looking for places closer to the Crystal River.
Yep, true statement. Yeah, because coming out here, launching at the very end, I mean, a lot of people will end up working their way west.
And you got all those oyster bars to play on.
All these big bars that are shown on FM or on Florida Marine tracks. They work quite well, housing quite a bit of fish, and then also do the same thing and be able to work the mouths and banks of all these inlets.
Yep.
And, you know, I'm going to go south on this question, actually.
There you go.
So,
You know what would be pretty sweet to do in a kayak? Go down to Chaz, fish for your freshwater species, your largemouth bass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you could hit your snook, you could hit your redfish, you could
Well,
hit your trout, you could hit the whole entire
Our
thing.
good friend Paul does that.
That'd be
I mean,
pretty
not on
sweet.
a kayak, but
and your good friend was just about to say that, and you took it from me.
Oh. I didn't know you were going that far
No,
south.
seriously, great minds think alike. That is perfect thinking.
we are heading south.
I thought you were going to put, like, show them a spot in Homosassa or something.
No, that's awesome thinking. Like, and Paul James does it best.
Oh yeah, he
You know.
hammers every species.
Yeah,
Chaz has to offer.
that's his goal, is to see how many species he can get.
That's
working
pretty cool.
Out.
That's really
so,
cool.
and you know, they have the Chassahowitzka boat ramp and the campground you can launch from there. Seven Sisters Campground is a brand new campground that just opened up, so that's a great area to check out. I don't know if they're doing public launching
Is
or
that the
not.
campground?
Yeah, that's the new.
Good for them.
Yep,
Happy to see that.
Buddy Shawnee, they're killing it, man. It's a beautiful campground. It's
Awesome.
awesome atmosphere. They've done a great job. So,
Seven Sisters.
but
Yeah, working on that Chaz. That is the fun part about Chaz. And you can do that on Homosassa River, Crystal River, but as far as a kayak goes, you are going to be working your butt off to get through it all.
Well, all the
I was on
traffic.
wrong river.
Yeah, to where Chaz, you know, you start out in that beautiful spring water, and it's not a very far paddle, well, technically speaking, to
And
hit all the species.
Just remember, the paddle out's going to be nice.
The paddle in can always...
It is. I mean, it is tide dependent, but It's a long paddle.
That
don't
and the
get
amount
me
of
wrong.
fish that you have
Now,
stocked in
if
your
you
boat.
go down to Chaz, look at how narrow this river is, guys. Just remember, the boats need the channels. Kayaks don't.
Hug the banks.
Yeah, hug the bank. Stay out of the boat's way, because they can't just slow down anywhere.
No.
You know, boats, when they slow down, they could hit rocks or whatever. When you're up on plane, you're drafting the less. So.
That's the biggest complaint I've ever heard about Chaz for a propped boat.
Yep.
It's having to come off of a plane.
But, yeah, so I think that's pretty good answers for the kayak portion.
Fun places to go do some kayaking.
Absolutely. On full moons, go down to the Homosassa Springs and go catch some snook.
Monster snook, too.
So. All right, Kevin McDowell, how's the shrimp flow? Was having issues getting live lately. So, Kevin, for whatever reason, shrimping's been great.
It has. We had like about a 2-week stretch that was really tough. I mean, our guys at HPA still provided shrimp for us, but now
They're big.
they are big. They're looking like a good wintertime shrimp at the moment.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
They're
now,
actually filling orders.
now
which
that
is
was
awesome.
before this big rainfall.
True
So
statement.
we'll see what happens tomorrow. We were loaded up on shrimp. Literally, we got like a huge order of shrimp because he's like, hey man, we started catching them again. Got this huge order of shrimp, and all of a sudden we had 3 days of downpour. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But we do have some live shrimp in the tank, and we started getting some great looking pinfish
Yes.
from Mr. Josh Henderson.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. Keep it up.
Yeah, keep it up. Keep up the great work. So, alrighty. How can I find the location of the shrimp boat that sank out from Crystal River?
Actually, if you guys head out the channel and you look to the, what would that be, southwest of the channel,
What's that?
where Greg's boat sank.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I had to throw names in there,
If
huh?
you go out of the channel and you go towards the Scallop Rack, it's going to be right in the middle of
it's
that.
still there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're not bringing it up. They broke in half
It
when
broke
they were.
in half and they got a
They gave
buoy
them
on it.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, just like Louie said, head out the channel, head over towards the Scallop Rack, and you're going to see a couple buoys marking it, and that's where it's going to be.
Really?
It's not going to be on that. It
Yeah,
happened
but
too
this
recently.
is Scallop Rack, right? Yeah. So,
How far off is that from the Morning Star?
Oh,
Good
Oh,
distance.
way off.
long ways.
Morning
I mean, it's-
Star-
I don't play out there much.
Billy, it's, I mean, if you were to go to the Scallop Rack and look to the northeast, it's a mile that way. It's
Daggum.
right there.
Yeah.
It's got a single buoy on it, and the wreck area is the size of this room.
Really?
It's
Oh yeah,
huge.
and low tide. I mean,
Oh,
you
it's
got to
sticking
watch.
up,
I mean, because you
for sure.
could hit it,
Yeah.
100%.
I caught a bunch of cobias off of
Yeah,
it.
have not
Did you?
seen or been
yeah.
there.
Really?
Dude, they're sitting right on top.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was it just one day or was it multiple days?
They're pretty regularly, just small ones, but
That's pretty sweet.
still pretty
goes
cool in the
spearfish.
morning.
all right. What's our next question here? Look at all these wrecks.
We're gonna catch the
Bunch
crap out of the
tracks.
groupers on it.
Bunch.
Were you with me when we pulled up on the
That eerie
Morning
looking
Star?
one?
The Morning Star?
Was that Morning
Yeah, that
Star?
was Morning
Are
Star.
red grouper and closer yet, or flounder? The flounder, we're actually starting to find a few of them while we're out there scalloping now. So
I
you know
say, I've
they might start showing up, and then I have no earthly idea even what a red grouper looks like. So that's going to be Louie's department.
Honestly, from what I know, red grouper wise, we've seen a crazy influx, is that a word, of red grouper in our area because of the red tide down south. The guys down south, their bottom's different down there. Their bottom is flat with holes and hard bottom, and it's just different.
Softer.
Up here we have big rock piles. That's why we have crazy gag fishing. But a lot of those fish have moved up here, and the guys that are going way out there this time of year have had really good red grouper fishing. Obviously, that red grouper fishing is more on that harder bottom with that holy bottom, not necessarily your big structure. But as far as red grouper goes, super dead bait on the bottom. A lot of people drift
Super
for red
dead.
grouper more than they drop straight down, and that's probably one of the best tactics to target red groupers when you're
When it's
going
dead,
on
you
these
hit it with
big
a
areas
hammer.
of hard bottom.
I just like how you said super dead.
Super dead.
Like when it's dead, just go ahead
Super
and
dead.
smash it on the
Dead
deck
as a
one more
doorknob.
time, then hook
Yeah.
it, then drop
Oh,
it down.
Red Grouper, he's lazy. Stinks.
All right, can the public launch at OKM? So Josh, right now, as long as the lot has room for parking, then yes.
We have limited it down due to the amount of guides that we have running out of here, just trying to make space for,
Yeah.
that aspect. But if it is a slower weekday, typically, we have room for you.
Well, like even like there's situations like this weekend, several guides are not running out of here.
Yeah, very
So-
true statement, yeah.
Yeah, so we do have plenty of
Had a few move to
room.
Homosassa for the weekend for their charters.
First come, first serve, one of those things. Call ahead.
Yeah, that's always nice to just call ahead.
Yeah, call
Yeah.
ahead. We can give you a good indication the night before. So if you want to call the day before, call the morning of. So, I wish we had a lot more dock, and I wish we had a lot more parking. But we're a little hole in the wall marina back in the woods. So, and we have a bunch of neighbors.
Yeah,
We love our neighbors. We want to make sure that we're not.
still got to throw the respect
Yeah.
there.
So we don't want to become one of those places that we just pack in every square inch for $1. So you can still get here and get all the bait you want, knowledge, whatever you need. But as of right now, yes, we are accepting launching to the public as long as we have the space.
And as far as that question goes, Scott, I do not see why a G3 would not be a decent boat to play around in Ozello.
Honestly, it says beginner. That seems like, if you got some dough to spend, yeah, get your G3. But man, I would go and just get,
12-foot John boat.
yeah, John boat, 25 on the back.
Aluminum
Scott
hull is
knows.
a-
Scott.
yeah.
Well, so Scott started kayak fishing, and he launches at Fish Creek, and he paddles all the way out to the outer islands.
Yeah.
Or not the outer St. Martins, but
We're playing in Fish Creek Bay
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
I'm just saying you don't need something. If you're beginning and just wanting to learn this stuff, I would start learning with something that is going to be relatively inexpensive, just
Yeah.
so when you do mess something up, it's not hurting you too
You
bad.
just shrug your shoulders
You know.
and keep going.
Yeah.
I think he
By
just
all
means
means.
like aluminum boat
Yeah,
style.
by all means. a
Okay.
good
Yeah.
aluminum
Yeah.
hulled
Oh yeah.
boat.
That'd be perfect.
I
Yeah,
don't see any
my
reason.
only statement on aluminum hull boat is just remember how loud it is in the water.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's my only statement.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
You know,
and
our mud
rinse
boats
it down.
are new mud boats are starting to be made so that the chimes have like a polling skiff. Has,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like you're not having that slap on the water.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
That's awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause that slap, you hear it on an aluminum boat hard.
Oh, for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
But best map CD card for Lowrance 12 TI2 to save a prop, and do you all sell them? Nathan, Sean, kick it over to the screen.
There's really not anything better that we can offer you.
There's nothing better on the market.
Yeah. When it comes to it, just zooming in on the rivers,
Show 'em a little
it
bird
gives
key.
you 100% confidence of where your highs and lows are, where your oyster beds are, your hard ground versus soft ground.
Yeah. So, Nathan, this is called Florida Marine Tracks, made by Isla Mapping. Yes, we sell them at the marina. Yes, we have them in stock. We will do our very best to always have these in stock because these have made guests of ours so happy.
Extremely.
And I'm sure have saved them thousands of dollars from prop damage, lower unit,
The price
injury.
versus the car versus the prop and the week's wait just to get the prop if you didn't knock your skeg off on top of it. Yeah, it's worth it.
And even for people like, Zach and Louie, like, where they know these routes like the back of their hands, the satellite imagery
It
alone.
gives secrets that would take, sad to say, many years of
It's the cheating
perfecting.
TV.
It
The
is
cheat
the
TV.
cheating TV.
You can see
Can't
the
deny it.
drop-offs, all this yellow, these are uprises, sudden uprises.
Yeah.
That is literally
Here's-
a map of, hey, fish this spot, you're going
Yeah.
to catch something.
Yeah.
That's
Or
what I
avoid
see.
this spot,
Yeah,
it's gonna
exactly.
cost you.
Well,
Exactly.
this is one of my favorite parts. This is where people get in the most trouble when they talk about Ozello and how they knock the lower unit off.
Yeah.
It's not in Ozello, it's out in the Gulf because we have all these
Off
ghost
of
rocks.
Yeah, it's off of Ozello.
Yeah.
That's the scary part.
And I'm not saying that they have every single ghost rock, but look at here, they just took a big percentage of that you're going to hit a rock out of the equation because they went ahead and did the work for you. So
I think the people on the other coast, when they hit a rock, they say, "Damn it, Ozello."
Yeah, yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was funny.
So, yes, Nathan, Florida Marine Tracks, and yes, we have them here, and yes, we have them
It
in
will work
stock,
well with your system.
and yes, we stand behind them.
We also
Alright.
fish behind them.
So I'll tell you what, guys, that was a good round of questions, but let's
Yeah.
go ahead and go to a commercial break. We'll be back. Alrighty, guys, we are back. That was our friends over at Bush Home Services. So, Billy, are you ready yet?
Yeah, working on it. Here we are.
Let's get back to some Q&As. What do you guys got for us? Tyler Trudell, when will OKM receive the new Bahio lens colors?
That's a great
If I'm
question.
not
I want to know that
mistaken,
question.
We did order some pink ones, correct?
We've sold out of pink
Well,
the day that they hit every single time we order them. Every single time. So now the new Bahio lens colors have not, if you're talking about like the purple lenses, they haven't came out yet.
yeah.
So
Believe us, we will have them as soon as they do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we
but
tried to
On
them.
our faces.
Now the pink lenses. Hey, Brianna, how does Bahio come in? How does it ship in? UPS or
In a
FedEx?
box.
So
Thanks,
do they
buddy.
come in on Saturdays? Okay. All right. So more than likely we'll be having a bunch of pink lenses come in
I was
tomorrow.
going to say, I thought we ordered a bunch of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We ordered a bunch of pink lenses. So
Which I'm
hopefully
excited
tomorrow,
about.
Tyler.
Every time I want to go buy a pair, they've already sold.
Did we try the pink lenses or the purple
Cat,
lenses?
Captain Tuna Can.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Brian.
Next question.
I would go for Amberjack. I don't personally. I know Bob Moreland does, but Louie, I don't know what is the Amberjack. How does that work offshore?
Well, if you drop a tuna can down there, you might catch one.
Sunburn.
Amberjack fishing in Crystal River is kind of like, it's not non-existent, but there's a lot of them out there, but it's like a lot of like big wrecks, and I mean, you have to have the biggest rock pile in the world out there, but it has to be in like 80 feet. Obviously I don't catch them here. I've been out there to see them and all that, but amberjack fishing is fairly simple once you get there. If you find them and everything, they want to eat anything that's put down on the bottom. When I did it in North Carolina, I mean, it was poppers, bucktails, butterfly jigs, tuna cans, whatever you want to drop down there to the bottom, you're
jigs.
going to get a bite on. So,
The Billy rig.
old Billy rig.
That's gonna be a big old Amberjack takes
Yeah,
it.
right.
But so I don't know. I need to look more look into Amberjack fishing. I want to say my cousin used to do a lot down in Sarasota.
Oh no, there's a lot of fish below us. Like our biggest problem is, you say, for the same reason that we don't have a really good
Depth per mile.
Yeah, like our depth per mile. Like we don't have a pelagic species that's really like our cobias. Cobias is great, but that's it. Like our dolphins and sailfish and all stuff like that. We catch a few, which this year there was a whole lot more out there than years past. But because of our depth per mile, we'll never see that pelagic run like we really like to, and that's kind of where those amberjacks like blue water, extremely blue water.
Get into some good deep waters.
And Rick's question was, are we going to have shrimp in the morning? Rick, we do have shrimp to open up in the morning.
Yep.
So come here early. We are expecting an order of shrimp, but just remember we just came off of a really big rain.
Yeah, so we
will
really
see
don't know what we're getting.
Yeah, it's going to be a surprise to all of us. I'm confident if anyone can find them, Willie and the boys at HPA can.
Yeah.
Next
And
question.
to say something about that, I fished all week,
Yeah.
and I didn't catch anything on shrimp. I
Yeah.
caught everything on pinfish.
I agree. Pinfish and chunk mullet this time of the year.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
all right,
I probably,
in Ozello, which months would it be tough to run an outboard jet due to too much grass?
I would say any time from spring to fall is going to be the hard time for a jet.
Spring to hard
mean-
time for a jet?
Yeah, hard time with the amount of floating grass that's out there.
Like in the summer.
Right now. I
Yeah,
mean, right
June-
now.
June, July, August.
Yeah.
Well,
So what happens
yeah.
with floating grass is
yeah, spring to fall.
spring to fall. Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
spring
Like
and fall.
north
Yeah,
to
yeah.
south or
You know
west to north.
Yeah, north to west, the winds. Haha. All right, but I want to go in depth with that question.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
causes floating grass?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
a lot
all
of
those
people.
scallopers.
Scallopers are ruining the grass. The manatees are chewing it up. It's natural, just like your grass in your yard. When you get more UV rays because
Yeah.
the sun's closer, or whatever causes that. I don't know about that part, but when it gets hot, your grass grows harder. Right? When you get more rain, more fresh water, your grass grows longer. But it can only grow so high, and then the UV rays start cooking it down, breaking off
That's it.
halfway, tops of it, and then it floats.
That's just like in the wintertime when we get these big cold fronts that push in. Right after that front passes, our wind directions typically will shift out of the east and blow west. Blows all the water out. I mean, the whole reef area will tend to kind of dry out. Those grass beds themselves dry out, and I'm sure being that every grass bed out there is a foot to 2 foot closer to the sun, not having that water out there, does tend to put a damper on them. And it seems like right after the winter, that grass is floating at that point.
So the best time to run a jet boat is spring and fall.
Yeah.
Winter.
All
Winter.
All winter long.
If it's cool out, send it.
And that's
I
when
did
you
have
want
a
to run
guy
that
on the
jet.
boat.
It's that low water.
That's it.
Like
Get
2
shallow.
weeks ago, who was more of like a marine science guy who worked for FWC, and he told me that the grass actually like 100% sheds.
Oh, yeah.
After it gets to 82 or 81 degrees, it
Yep,
sheds
spits out all the blades and starts over.
Whatever, and that's what's coming up to the top.
I believe it, because a lot of the grass you see at the top is still green.
Oh, it's full grass. I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's no doubt that's like full
That
length
was a
grass.
healthy bed of grass still
sure.
shedding.
I just remember there was that one guy that blamed all the dead grass because of the scallopers, and he was sending letters to Congress to try to get the scalloping season shut down, so killing all the grass. And
That guy just didn't
but
know
he
how to
sent
swim.
that letter in June.
Yeah. This is all residue from last year.
Rick Largell, what do the yellow lines mean on FMT?
That is
Rock.
shallow times coming.
That's rock.
Not necessarily rock.
Yeah.
It's uprise, so it's a
It's coming in shallow.
yeah, not a spool. What's it called? A
Yeah,
Short.
basically a good little shoal coming up.
shoal. There we go.
Yeah.
Big
So you can
word.
see where
And
like
it could
from
be
here to there is actually going to be about 6 inches difference.
Yeah, it could be rock. It could be what is that though?
They
Where,
do
where
mark-
are you right now?
I'm really not too sure.
He's on Zach's Island.
Yeah.
Go away from it.
Get away from it. Look at that feeder.
Yeah, you don't even need to think about it.
Look at that feeder.
I would take a screenshot right now if I were y'all. Actually,
Not my island. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
That's the worst fishing spot you could ever fathom. It's just shallow.
Louie,
all
I'm
the way
so
around.
happy you told him that spot.
Boom.
and then
You'll see my tower sticking up out of the middle of the island. Tuna can. Where's that spot?
Tunican Island.
Why does this always come up? Brian, stop it.
All right, next question. That was the best question of the night. I'm sorry. I bet you Brian is still laughing right
Oh,
now.
I'm sure. I'm sure. The amount of airboat tours I get. Hi, Captain
Ooh,
Tuna.
good question. Thoughts on braid color and dark? We'll answer this as a two-part question.
Yeah.
Braid color in dark water, and then the next question, the next answer will be dark or braid color in clear water?
Does it actually matter?
If you're not using the leader,
Right.
I mean, if I'm in really clear water, I'm using a leader that's extremely long. And then, honestly, in my opinion, your braid color does not matter at all.
As long as you stick a good 6 foot of...
As long as you use a good leader. I mean, I've been places fishing to where I'm using literally a 5-6 foot leader, okay? Yeah. But around here, I mean, I would say 3.5 foot, 3.5 foot if it's really clear and you're trying to do something for, trout or something that's finicky, or your triple tail, something like that. I mean, heck, Louie, he's got, 100-pound braid going down to the bottom, So as long as you have a really long leader, like he was preaching about earlier, it doesn't matter what color the braid is. It can be pink, purple, yellow, white, doesn't matter, as long as you have a good leader.
Today or 2 days ago, I had a boy on the boat who he wanted to use his own pole. It was perfectly fine. Just bought a new pole, had yellow line on it. I have blue line just because it matches the colors of my boat. It doesn't matter. If you're if you're pitching mangroves, maybe a green would be better. But to be totally honest with you, the way that we fish, all 4 of us here, we have usually 2 or 3 people fishing at a time. So being able to see the line is really big.
Yeah, huge. That's what I was going to say.
Hey, you need to reel your slack up. You got one on. Your slack's literally coming to the boat. That's something that I can see from way far off the boat. I mean, on my grouper stuff, I have blue camo, and I can see that stuff, very well. It's light. I have it on everything pretty much now. But like we're going to start talking about that fins braid here soon.
I'm surprised that braid haven't come in.
That stuff hasn't. That stuff is in all colors. But like that dude said, pink is probably one of their most popular sellers. Is it because pink disappears at a certain depth in the water? Is it because bass guys like pink line? Bass guys are.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, 80-pound braid for a 5-pound fish.
Yeah, exactly. Got to break through those reeds or something.
No, I agree. It's the color. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I've always used the dark, forestry green or whatever that is.
It blends well back.
A lot of people have used that because
that's
what is readily available.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think kind of like along the lines of what Zach said, as long as you're using a good long leader, knowing that you're using a fluorescent, fishing line, as long as you have that good leader to separate your bait from the line itself, it shouldn't really matter.
And don't go cheap like I do.
Yeah, that's
go ahead and buy yourself some fluorocarbon.
Quality,
don't use monofilament. All right?
Quality over color.
Yes.
Is the mangrove and grunt fishing in the foul area still decent? Looking for some fish while out scalloping. Zach, you want to talk about
I haven't been out to grunt fish in a while. But I mean, I can't imagine them not being out there. Like I talked about a few weeks ago, guys, you're already going to want some spots out there. And then it's so clear, you guys can literally drive up, look off the side of the boat, see if there's grunt and snapper down there. And if they're not there, don't fish it, Yeah. And just keep moving around, get a couple that have got fish on it, and then just go back and
That's
post
the nice
up on
thing
it.
about them is they're not like the grouper where, as soon as you show up, they're under the ledge.
No, I mean, they're going to sit there.
Yeah, you can look down and visually see fish.
Yep.
Well, that's typically going to be your snapper.
I can tell you in 16 foot of water today, 80-pound fluoro, 80-pound braid, we caught some really big mangrove snapper.
That's cool.
With 7/0 circle hooks.
That's awesome.
So, I don't know if that's normal or not, but I know the grunt, there's plenty of grunt in like the 8-foot range in the foul area, northwest of the foul area, but
Nice.
tuna can hunting.
I hate all of you.
All right, next question. Last question. What's the recommended type of boat that can be multifunctional as far as type of fishing and on a budget?
Carolina.
Good
Look
question.
around.
I would agree with you. Carolina skiff.
I was going to say, look around at all what the guides are running, and a good solid 80% of them are Carolina skiffs.
You can run them in shallow water. You can run them kind of out a little bit further if you've got that 24.
I mean, at least be able to make it to the foul area.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you'll get your teeth knocked in if you got a chop. You know, but I mean, heck, you're not going to you don't want to be out there in any boat in that
Yeah,
stuff.
but Carolina,
You know?
Carolina skiffs have tall sides.
Yep.
They're made well.
Yeah, you can load the whole family on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what's nice about Carolina Skiff. You can virtually turn it into a pontoon boat feel if you want to go to the Springs.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Go grab some
100%.
plastic benches from Home Depot or Lowe's,
Yeah.
throw them in there. You could adjust that deck. You know, just don't drill into the deck. Do it just like the guides do. Get some fold-out chairs
Yep.
and a 6-foot bimney. And the only thing I can say about a Carolina Skiff, the further you get your weight in the back of the boat, the better it's going to ride.
Yeah.
100%.
At least for the driver.
People, so something I had a guy on the boat maybe 3 weeks ago or so, and he asked me. He said, "Why does your boat ride so much better than mine?" I have the same boat pretty much. His center console was in the middle or whatever. I asked him if he had trim tabs. He said, "No, I don't have any trim tabs." I said, "Well, watch this." So I turned the boat, and we were up there on our side a little bit, and she just plowed right through everything. I said, "That's what I did the whole day to get home." And he was like,
Just
Yeah.
tilt it just a little.
"Just a little bit to keep that chime in the water."
Well, I mean,
And
heck, my
was
skiff,
awesome.
it's rated for 18, 24 is rated for 18 people, and I think it's like 24 or 2,600 pounds.
That's the best
Wow.
part of me.
You could load a damn car up on that thing.
Yeah,
That's the
legit
nice-
put the family on.
Yeah,
it.
even with trim tabs. So, like, if we're building a boat on a budget, right? Trim tabs are expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But smart tabs, they're $100 for a pair
Just
of
a little
them.
hydraulic pair that constantly push down.
Yep.
I mean, they keep the pressure to where the bow drops down. Easy solution.
And they're not ideal. If you're getting real shallow water, they're going to drag, like
Yeah.
real shallow water. But shoot, I think they're perfect, for somebody, the everyday weekend warrior
We
fisherman.
used them
and-
for many years, even on the guide boat.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
And
honestly.
skiff holes, you could pick them up for relatively cheap,
Yeah.
for just the hole, and then, kind of build it out yourself from there.
and on personal preference, older hull the better.
Yes.
There's been a
100%.
few- Yeah,
Yep.
been quite a few issues on the newer hulls. Not saying they're not trying to fix it, but
I don't think they are trying to fix it.
yeah, they might
Well,
not be.
back then, it was a commercial boat. People didn't
Yeah.
buy
They
a
built it
Carolina
for
skiff, take their family out on. That thing was built to put, logs and, all kinds of
Yep,
equipment
40
on.
crab traps on
Yeah.
the bow of it and
Yeah.
keep going.
But
sure.
to answer your general question, any sort of flat bottom boat,
Yep, it can be a Florida skiff,
skiff, yep.
Sundance.
Yep.
As long as it's a good 18-foot-ish, you're going to be happy with it.
Yep.
Sea Arc, and there's,
Yep.
find someone that that knows a little bit about the boats. There's a lot of things to look for when buying a boat. Is it waterlogged? How's the transom? If you're buying an aluminum boat, look for corrosion.
Absolutely.
Those aluminum boats, they get cancer inside of them, and
Well,
that
it's
corrosion will just travel.
electrolysis, just-
Electrolysis,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's white powder stuff all over the place. That's
Yeah,
what you don't
we've
want to
had
see.
we've had boats that come in that we refused to work on. Sadly, there was quite a few of them. You can almost just stick your thumb right through the hull. From so
do.
much of it, it's just So, like Gary said, if you're gonna go aluminum, double check for all that corrosion.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week, and then we'll do a quick. Are we going to do a fishing report too, there, Sean? All right, so we'll do the Extreme Decalz Catch of the Week, a quick Ayinde Matthews State Farm fishing report, and then Reel of Fortune. All
Little
righty,
mess of reds.
Captain Carter.
Good job, Zach. You taught Carter well.
Captain Carlito.
I was in the
How do
middle
you
of a
pronounce his
thunderstorm.
last name?
Gutierrez.
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 I had no idea G was a frat boy.
Oh yeah.
So that,
Throwing
I
it
believe,
out there.
Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that his personal best snook? That is that young man, that's Ken Klamer's grandson.
You can't tell by the smile on that kid's face. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
that's a PB right there.
There you go.
Very nice red.
He caught more than I did today.
Well, I feel like Ken should start guiding because
I know.
anyone that he takes out fishing, they always catch more than him.
It's a sad truth. Sorry, Ken. Oh,
Who's that ugly mug?
oh, Gary putting in the time.
That's
to
not a
make sure
catch,
that
I can
the
tell
They
you
didn't
that.
get my good side.
Sorry, Bree.
Bree would be releasing.
Look at that.
Captain
Pit
Jacob
Viper
with Ozello
glasses.
Fish Company. Mr.
Nice
Jason
red.
Anderson, he stayed with us in Ozello this, and he brought us those cookies.
Oh, man, they were
Thank
so
you,
good.
sir.
Holy, those are the best cookies I've ever had. Thank you very much to the Anderson family, by the way.
Very nice. Snook
Mr.
there.
Hunter. Awesome snook.
Very
One of the
nice.
friends that came with
Glad to
them.
see y'all got on fishing.
Yeah.
The weather wasn't 100%.
Tell you what, when a lot of people are refusing to go out fishing, they're out there catching fish. That's too
That's
cool.
it.
Captain Ken Craig, he made the Florida Insider last night. Did you guys catch that?
I did not. No,
Good.
I'd love to hear that. Good deal. Ooh, what a
Bartell.
tarpon.
Is that
That looks like Lucas.
Oh, that's Lucas. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Awesome.
I want to go with
Oh,
him.
flying it up.
Was that you, Louie?
No, that was Marina.
Oh.
A heck of a squeaker.
Mr. Paul Janes.
There's
See,
the
that's
fellow we were talking about. Starting
cool.
in Chaz, working his way out.
Yep.
All right, nice little bonnet.
Nice flounder.
There's
We were
that
just
flounder.
talking about
Flounder,
that.
yeah.
Well, that's shallow. What is
Yeah, they're scooting in some shallow waters. Good job, all.
Rick?
Look at that. There we
The
go.
one and the only. Tell you what, he has learned this area like the back of his hand recently.
Well, it helps working that
Oh, yeah.
Florida Marine
Yeah,
Tracks
yeah.
card he won.
Captain Teddy Choupet.
Shupaloo.
There's my
Not
house in the
Ozello.
background. There's the HPA Snook
Steven
Company.
catching snook in the trawls.
Big
That's
old
awesome.
snook.
That's the
Good
engagement.
looking shades.
Yeah, those guys got
Love those.
engaged.
Captain Casey Russell.
That's
Yeah.
them. The two on the outside. They got
Oh, those
engaged.
were the ones that got engaged?
Yeah.
Ah, congratulations.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Casey said he like pulled the ring out of his pocket after he got out of the water.
Really?
I swear.
God.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, that could have ended
Dang,
very
Bree didn't
badly.
put any of my pictures in there?
Jay had a lady
You,
lose a
you gotta
fif-
catch fish first, Louie.
Jeremiah had a lady lose a $15,000 ring off the side of the boat. The people just got engaged.
Really?
Yep. Right into the grass, gone.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure somebody would
All
have
right.
been swimming.
Real quick, guys. Zach, why don't you take it away? Cover a quick fishing report. The Ayinde Matthews State Farm Fishing Report. Let's just do an overall. Kind of centralize Ozello. Take it away.
Redfish on any of the outside keys, outside points, moving water, live pinfish, big chunks of cut mullet, moving over to trout. Basically any of those golden bottom patches in the middle of grass. You guys heard us talking about it earlier today.
Reef bottom.
Throw a DOA fluke in glow pattern or bone white, nose hook, no weight, bump it across those, or pitch a live pinfish right in the middle of those golden patches and they'll eat that as well. Your snook, same as a redfish. Any moving water over any points, pitching pinfish up under mangroves. Artificial of choice would be the DOA fluke, the larger one, nose hook, and you can use an assortment of different colors for that. You can do something natural like a shad color, mullet color, or even your glow or your whites for that. Any of that's going to work.
That movement.
Yeah, guys, water's really clear right now. Use a lot of leader. That's going to be your best bet.
Yeah.
Clear the water, more the leader.
Yep, exactly.
Makes total sense.
Awesome. All right, that being said, let's go over to Captain Gene Miller and find out what's going on inland.
Hey guys,
Captain
very
Gene, you
flooded.
there?
Water's high everywhere. The current's really moving really quickly, so you got to kind of watch out for all the floating debris, the trees and stuff like that. There's a lot of limbs
Can
and
you
stuff
hear
like
him,
that,
Sean?
especially in the river.
Okay.
With that rising water, what it's done is it's got the fish pushed up. They'll go way up into the banks. The bait fish and everything will try to get out of the current and have places to hide. So you really can't get too shallow, to, especially for the bass. If you can find any eddies close to like culverts, water running off, stuff like that, you're going to find a lot more bait fish and get a little bit more active. The fish will be a little bit more active in those areas. But just trying to find that calm water, and with it being a little bit more stained, I'm really liking to use something like a chatterbait, a spinnerbait with a big Colorado blade, 12, 14-inch worm, something that's got a lot of profile and a lot of vibration. When the water's dirty like that, the fish don't key in by sight. It's off of their lateral line, so the strike zone is a lot smaller. So you might have to, if you're throwing a spinnerbait or something like that, you're going to want to pick out those targets. Say you're throwing at a tree or a stump or something like that. Just get in there and make 3 or 4 passes. Don't just make one cast in an area and move on. Work those areas a little bit heavier. And if you can find any clear water, that's going to help your bite a little bit better too. But
nice.
Loud baits, big baits, especially with all the moving water and the rising water, that's going to be the ticket right now for the bass.
So keep them moving, keep them visible.
So, Gene, with all this rain that we've had in the Chain of Lakes area, how does that affect the bass fishing?
With it cooling it off, it's kind of like the same as the redfish and stuff. It cools the water off, so that does get them a little bit more active. It just makes them a little bit harder to target. So you got to be thorough on the areas that you fish. And like I said, when you regularly fish the bank, if that water is 2 or 3 feet off where the bank usually is, go ahead and cast in those people's yards. Basically, and those fish they're not real. They're pretty lazy. They're not going to fight in the current all day. I mean, they've got some strength when you're fighting them and stuff like that, but they're not going to sit out there in that strong current or anything all day long. And with the gates open on the Withlacoochee almost everywhere, everything on Salapopka and all of that is, there's quite a bit of current moving right now through all the lakes and the rivers.
Nice. Awesome. Now, do you run these freshwater charters this time of the year, or do you wait until fall to start offering that?
I love the fall and the spring. I run them all year, but sight fishing is my favorite thing. So into December, usually that last full moon, I'll start off in the spring, sight fishing for bedding bass, and then
that'd be fun.
Just kind of progress out. I'll progress out of the springs down to the river, and then eventually end up in the lakes. And it's a nice thing about Florida, Central Florida especially, we've got about 4 months of spawning season. And I love during the fall, they're just really active, so that's a good time to fish, and it's not so hot.
Good deal. Now, last question for you. Someone asked the question about if they wanted to go bank fishing or fishing from shore this time of the year. They were asking for salt water, but if somebody did want to go fish from shore on the Chain of Lake areas, where would be a good spot, a general area to send them to, kind of guide them to where they can kind of find it from there, different spots?
Right off of 44, there's several little spots that you can get in off of. It's not like public or somebody else's property or anything like that. Several good spaces around there, around Inverness, around the beach area is really good. And all 39, if you like fishing, like on the Withlacoochee, there's several spots on 39 that you can walk the trails and bird trails and stuff like that along the river. And there's some nice holes in there that don't get a lot of pressure. Nice. Really good places to, especially take kids and stuff like that.
Awesome, good
and
deal.
Another thing I had, you guys were talking about, one of the questions was line color, and it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. And I agree on the saltwater part. When I am flipping though, I like the moss green, and I'll even take a Sharpie and go over my line just to make it a little bit darker. So when I'm flipping in those pads and then hydrilla and stuff, it does cut down visibility a little bit and will help your bites. Because, those bass guys like that 60, 80-pound line.
He said, those bass guys like that 60, 80-pound line.
Oh, so you're one of those guys.
Good deal, Gene. Thank you very much.
I like catching them on 10-pound, but
Yeah,
like a frog.
Thanks so much.
If a gator happens to jump on there, I like to be prepared.
Can't say I blame you there.
Hey, Gene, if somebody wants to book a charter in that sweet Gnu that you got, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Ozello Keys Marina. Just call them up, or you can go to CaptainGeneMiller.com. That's about the easiest ways.
Love it.
You're the man. Well, we appreciate it, brother, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Gary, for all you're doing. Appreciate your help out there.
All right, so that was Captain Gene Miller, CaptainGeneMiller.com.
Yep.
Great guy, great
Awesome
personality, sweet Gino. Cannot wait to get on it. Now, you know, that's something we don't like really talk about on this side is the freshwater.
I know, honestly, we really don't, and that's the craziest part. That's where we grew up.
Yeah.
That's what we grew up doing, was bass fishing. We just have not gotten back into it. It would be a lot of fun to get back into here and there,
Yeah, I agree.
just to change it up.
I'd like to see if there's any bass left in the Falls River. I mean,
Honestly, you really
I
don't
know-
know anymore.
a couple of years ago, I fooled around back there, and we were catching some, not the great big giant ones like we used to. I mean, 4 or 5 pounder was average, Zach. Like that was,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Catching, I think, I don't remember what the biggest amount we caught was, a little over 30 some odd fish.
In like an hour.
Yeah.
In my
Dude, your
playtime.
creek used to be the bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through the neighborhood.
So.
I think Mimo's caught like 50 something on that creek one day.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to go do one last commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to be giving away something for free. So
Gotta love it.
Stay tuned.
Hey Gary, what you doing?
Oh, just going through the book, looking at some dash panels.
As nice as that sounds, what if we went and did something a little more custom? Do you know anybody that might be able to make a switch panel like this?
Let's go talk to Brian.
I think Brian would be a good idea for that.
Cool, let's go.
It'd be sweet.
Oh, Brian. Hey, man. What's up, brother? I got a cardboard cutout. Can you make it into something for me?
Absolutely, let's do it.
All right. What?
This is our dash panel complete. Just wanted to throw a huge shout out to Brian up there at Extreme Decalz. Nailed it. This is exactly what I had envisioned when I drew literally a cardboard cutout for this to become a true dash piece and showpiece at the same time. Thank you very much, Brian. I'm super stoked to see this thing on the water. He came over the thing, yeah.
Alrighty, guys, we are back, and so typically we do a Reel of Fortune and a trivia question and giveaway, but what we would like to do is Ken Klamer's grandson. He got his personal best snook.
That was a gorgeous snook, and love to hear and see youngins coming up in
Was that
the
today?
Next generation.
I believe that
Or
was
was it
today.
yesterday?
Personal
Yeah.
best.
I literally saw him. Billy, you and I were talking about him leaving this morning.
Yes, we were too. We were
About
like,
how
those
it-
were the days.
Like, that got us into fishing. Going out fishing with your grandpa, your dad,
Yeah.
him leaving, dude, he was just stoked. Like,
Yeah.
ready to
feeling like
roll.
the top of the world.
And
Yeah.
I want to encourage the youth getting out and doing outdoor activities and fishing more. So because that young man got his first,
His first PB, his personal
his
best.
Oh,
personal
yeah.
best snook,
He beat his first fish. That's
we're going to
awesome.
give I'm going to create a really awesome care package. We're going to, Captain Louie, actually, if you want us to make an awesome basket
Get this kid
for
ready.
him, get that kid set up with a tackle box and a bunch of tackle and hook. Yeah, he's going to hook it up. So
Oh, man. Oh, Gary's eyes are like, oh, God, no.
take that grouper plug out.
Hey, throw him a box of these potatoes in there, too.
I tell you what, actually, you know what?
Oh, my.
Give him a
I'm
pair
going
of
to give him a pair.
Bahios.
Let's give him a pair of
Oh,
Bahios.
There you go.
Heck yeah,
Let's give him
man.
a
There
pair
we
of Bahios.
go.
That'd be
Absolutely.
Richard, I think his name is.
What's it? Richard?
Well, we gave away a pair of Bahios.
All right. Well, Ken, bring him in. We're going to put a sweet package together, which
That's
is going to
awesome.
include a pair of Bahios
You know the part I am
sunglasses.
excited about?
I
is
wish
he's
I would've
gonna
caught my
see
personal
his
best
next
snook
personal
today.
best fish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, before he catches it.
Yeah, that's
So-
exactly it. Use the pair of Bahios and find your next personal best fish. I want to see that
Is
happen.
it Richard?
Yeah, he's slipping in the back of his truck.
Oh, he's sleeping right now. All right, guys, so that's it. We appreciate everything. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, please share, and encourage the youth to get out and do some fishing. So, oh, yes, and Save the Halls River. Join the Stand Up for the Outstanding Save the Halls River Facebook group. We've been posting a bunch of updates. It might come down to be doing some events and protesting and going
we'll just have the whole
to
community
meetings.
block it off. No, I'm just kidding.
So yeah, there we go.
Right.
They
Can't
can,
arrest
if
us
they
all.
can block roads down south,
Yeah,
we
they
can
can't
block
arrest
the
us
river,
all.
all right? But no, but seriously, please join the group and help out our ecosystem. And Sean loves doing that.
Always look alive, Louie. Always look alive.
All right, we'll see you next Friday.
I'm always
Thank you, guys.
the wrong time.